A new perspective on life's path. If you clicked on this video, chances are you're at a point in life where you're questioning how to move forward. Maybe you're in your 20s, stepping into the real world, trying to figure out what kind of mindset you need to succeed. Or maybe you're at a transition point in life, wondering if the way you've been approaching things is actually working. We hear things like, hard work pays off, life goes according to plan, and the people closest to you shape your future. But what if none of these are completely true? What if reality works a little differently, like a paradox? Today, we're exploring exactly that. The hidden truths about success, relationships, and understanding yourself so that you can navigate life with more clarity and less stress. Does hard work always lead to success? You've been told that if you work hard, you'll get to where you want to be. But have you ever worked your absolute hardest and still felt stuck? You graduate, land your first job, push through late nights, do everything right, yet somehow, life doesn't unfold the way you expected. Psychologists call this the just world hypothesis, the belief that life is fair and effort leads to results. But research shows that, in reality, factors like background, social connections, and sheer timing often play a bigger role than we'd like to admit. Let me give you an example. A friend of mine, let's call her A, had a perfect 4.0 GPA, a flawless resume, and all the right internships. She had done everything to set herself up for success. But she graduated during the pandemic, hiring freezes hit, and her dream job slipped through her fingers. Then there's B. She was never the type to have a 5-year plan. But she randomly entered a competition during college, ended up networking with professionals in a completely different field, and landed a career she never would have considered before. The Stoics had a saying, you can't control the wind, but you can adjust your sails. Life isn't a straight road. It's more like driving with Google Maps when your GPS keeps lagging. You have a plan, but unexpected detours are inevitable. That's why, instead of obsessing over controlling the entire journey, focus on what you can do today. Because that's the only thing truly in your hands. The paradox of relationships, why strangers may change your life more than close friends. We assume that the biggest influences in our lives will be our family, best friends, or mentors. But what if the people who change our lives the most are the ones we never expected? Have you ever had a random conversation that shifted your perspective entirely? Research by sociologist Mark Granovetter, known as the strength of weak ties theory, suggests that the most life-changing opportunities don't come from our closest relationships, but from casual acquaintances, chance encounters, and people outside our immediate circles. I saw this happen firsthand. A friend of mine traveled to Turkey alone. She got lost, and a local stranger ended up helping her find her way. But instead of just giving directions, they had a conversation. The stranger told her something that stuck. Staying in one place all your life is just a habit, not a necessity. She had always assumed she'd live in her hometown forever. But that one sentence? It planted a seed. A year later, she took a leap, moved to another country, started a new career, and completely transformed her life. Life is like wandering through a new city. If you only stick to familiar streets, you'll never discover hidden gems. So, be open to those unexpected conversations. They might just be the turning point you didn't know you needed. Understanding yourself more deeply. Why failure is the best mirror. We all like to think we know ourselves. But what if our biggest moments of self-discovery don't come from success, but from failure? Psychologists talk about self-concept, our mental picture of who we are. But this picture isn't fixed. In fact, it shifts the most when we experience setbacks, forcing us to ask, wait, is this really what I want? This happened to me. After college, I interned at an investment firm, fully believing that finance was my path. But when I didn't get the full-time offer, I was crushed. I thought I had failed. But as I reflected, something became clear. I wasn't actually passionate about finance itself. I loved learning about money, but I wasn't excited about the work itself. That realization made me shift gears entirely toward an industry I had always been drawn to, fashion. If I hadn't failed, I never would have stopped to question my path. Stoic philosopher Seneca said, "Only those who are unafraid of failure truly find freedom." Failure isn't a stop sign, it's a signpost, pointing you in a direction you might not have noticed before. The key is, instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" try asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" The art of letting go, choosing what not to do. We spend so much time figuring out what we want to do. But maybe the real key to life isn't choosing what to pursue, it's choosing what to let go of. In psychology, there's a term called loss aversion. We fear losing something more than we enjoy gaining something new. That's why we struggle to quit a job we don't love, or leave a relationship that's not making us happy. But here's the thing, saying yes to everything means saying no to yourself. Instead of asking, "What do I want to do?" ask, "What am I no longer willing to tolerate?" Because that answer will bring you closer to the life you actually want. This idea connects with the Eastern philosophy of Wu Wei, the art of effortless action. Sometimes, the most powerful decisions come not from pushing harder, but from removing what no longer serves you. We can't control every outcome in life, but we can choose how we show up every single day. And over time, that choice shapes everything. Key takeaways. 1. Hard work is important, but life isn't always fair. Focus on what you can control. 2. The most unexpected people and moments can shape your life in ways you never saw coming. 3. Failure isn't an ending, it's a mirror, reflecting what truly matters to you. 4. Sometimes, choosing what not to do is more important than choosing what to pursue. 5. Small, daily actions, not just grand plans, are what shape your future. So, tell me, what's one thing you've realized about yourself recently? Have you ever had a moment where life didn't go as planned, but it led to something even better? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. And if this video resonated with you, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need this today.